Today we're going to build a 450mm or 1.5 foot high kicker launch ramp.
What's up guys, my name is Dylan Warren. I'm a professional mountain boarder from Melbourne, Australia. Today we are at the Cragos factory of doom with Cragos himself, and we're going to show you guys how to build a kicker ramp, aka a launch ramp. A ramp that's going to send you up in the sky so you can practice your tricks while you're at home.
Okay, so it's going to be a basic build, basic tutorial with it. Hopefully you'll be able to use whatever pieces of wood, board around your garage, behind the shed at home, to make it as simple as possible for anyone to use. So it'll be lightweight, easy to maneuver, and it'll be from beginners to medium. So
we're pretty much just going to build the perfect ramp that you guys can chuck in the back of your car and take it to a spot to ride, and it's going to be heaps of fun.
Alright, we're about to get stuck into the build. You should pause this right now because right next to me is the material list in both metric and imperial. So pause it, take a screenshot, write it down, and we'll get stuck into it. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is cut the radius for the transition. That means we need to cut out the two sides to create the shape of the ramp. Now, this is probably the only important thing you need to get right, but it's pretty simple. We're going to use two tape measures to draw out on our plywood the exact shape we want for our ramp. All right, Craig's going to draw it up. Here we go.
all right, to start off with, we've got to build the sides of our kicker. And for this one, we've got a sheet of 15mm plywood. We've cut it down to 450 by 2.4 long. You can use 12mm if you want, but 15 works just as good and it's a little bit stronger. Okay, now we're going to draw the transition for our side pieces on the kicker. So to help out with that, you need a flat area. Concrete driveway is perfect for this. So we're lucky we've got lines marked on the ground. You guys at home, you can use a wall and squared off with the cuts in the concrete. From there, we're going to measure up 4 meters. And then from that 4 meters, we go across 1.9 meters. And from here, this is where we're going to measure out and draw our arc for the transition. Now we've measured up 4 meters from the base of the kicker and across 1.9 meters from the back edge. This is our pivot point. All right, now the sides have been marked, we get our jigsaw and cut along the line. Okay, now we've cut one side for our kicker. What we need to do is flip it around, line it up, flush with the end, flush with the bottom on the offcut, get the pencil and scribe, mark our line for the next cut. We've cut out our two side pieces for the kicker and we're left with this funny shape offcut. What we're going to do now is square it up, and this is going to be the brace for the back of our kicker. We're very lucky. I've got a panel saw here, but at home you'd be using a jigsaw more than likely. Now we're going to use the center of this, which is the biggest piece, so we're just going to cut it into a rectangular shape. We're up to cutting our ribs now. Normally I'd use 19 by 40 timbers. We've got 30 by 30 here because that's what we've got lying around. If you want to do a heavier, stronger unit, you can use bigger timbers. It's entirely up to you. Now we want an overall width of 900mm, so allowing for our thickness on our sides at 15mm each, we'll be cutting these at 870 long.
Okay, so now we're ready to join our two sides together using our new ribs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out 200mm spaces for our ribs to join the sides together. Okay, so
Entirely up to you.
the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our fancy new back piece. We're going to run it about 20mm underneath the, what would you call this here?
The apex.
That's what I was going to say. The apex of the ramp. I'm going to use a 1/8, aka
drill bit.
6mm drill bit.
Nah, it's a number 30.
Number 30 drill bit. Craig's going to line me up straight here. Remember, we're just doing this at home, YOLO. We're going to pre-drill. Okay, now we're going to screw her in.
Put 2 in on either side. Might even go 3 just to make that a little bit stronger.
Gorgeous. All right, now we're ready to put our ribs in to finally join our sides together. I'm gonna do a quick bit of glue. If you have it, Craig's pre-drilling the holes. And now we're just gonna go ahead and screw them all in. Cue the time lapse. So if you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel, we did another tutorial on how to build a 3-foot kicker. And in that video, Craig had been busy working on this van behind me. It's been 7 months since that video and it's blue. It's amazing. Look at him go, he's so excited. It's on the home stretch this week. Check out his Instagram, Craigos18, to see the final product. All right, moving on, back to the ramp, let's go. All right, so the ribs are on. If you want to use this for skateboarding, I'd probably add a few more ribs in just to help because the wheels are smaller, but if you're going to use it for mountain boards or bikes, this will be fine. Now we're going to measure up our radius, and it's about 1480. All right, so we're going to cut our sheet of ply to 1480 long, and it should be 900 wide, and then we'll fix it on.
Normally we would use 2 sheets of 7mm ply because it bends nice and easy and doesn't put too much stress on the timber itself. But in this case, we're using offcut, so I've got a couple of 9mm sheets here, but they are half sheets. So what we're gonna have to do is actually put a join on one of these ribs here to keep it at strength. But just remember, the grain has to run across the kicker to get our bend, because if it's running up with the kicker, you won't be able to bend it. And we are going to have to put a couple of joins in it because they are offcuts. So the joins always go on a rib to give it its strength. So now to have this piece cut, we'll glue, screw and get it underway. Okay, now we're going to put some glue down on the ribs and the side pieces, lay our top plate on and then start screwing away. Starting on our join piece of the rib, go down halfway and flush down one side to start off with. That way it'll keep the whole thing square. So now this is square, Dylan can finish off drilling and screwing, and I'll cut our last top piece here. Okay, once you finish gluing and screwing down the whole kicker, it's all secured. Sanding block or just a bit of sandpaper and take off all the sharp edges so you don't get any splinters, and it's ready for painting for whatever colour you want to paint it.
Alrighty guys, that is the ramp all done and dusted, quite literally. All it needs is a coat of paint.
All built out of recycled timber and plywood that we've had lying around the factory, and anyone can do it. You guys can do it. You've seen how easy it is. Get out there, let's see what you can do.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be perfect guys, just get the shape of a ramp, make it strong, and you guys will be on your way. It's a great stepping stone to progressing your riding, your skateboarding, your mountain boarding, your BMXing, whatever it is. Great height to get started. If you want to take it to the next level, we actually built a 3-foot version of this to take it to the next level. So you can click the links coming up to check out that video. And we want to see these ramps out in the wild, out in the action. Follow us on Instagram, Craigos18, Radical Face. Send us a photo of you guys riding these ramps. We'd love to see it. Thanks for tuning in guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace!